Meaning if your avoidant ex keeps pulling away, she keeps ignoring you or acting cold, or even if she's acting like she's completely done with you, filed a divorce, checked out, in-house, or physical separation, listen to me closely. Avoidant exes do not come back because you chase them. They don't come back because you explain yourself, and they don't come back because you fight for the relationship. They only come back if you do these 4 things differently than every other man she's ever pulled away from. And if you don't learn this, she will never feel safe enough to reconnect with you again, no matter how long you wait. Put in the comments if any of this sounds like your situation. You just got to be coachable. Who I am? My name is Denver Griffin, and this is my wife, Brandy Griffin.
And we help men who are facing unwanted divorce or separation restore their marriages.
Fast. That's right. So before we dive in, I want you to do me a favor. Help us help you. The admission price for today's video is press that subscribe button, but more importantly than the subscribe button, we want you to press the bell notification and change those settings to all. We're starting to put out 3 videos a week, and we don't want you to miss one single video that could turn everything around. So let's get started. All right, so let's get started. Understanding the avoidant narrative and her confirmation bias is what we're going to discuss in today's video to give you some pointers that you can practically implement. Avoidant women leave because of a story that they're running in their head, not because of one single event. Avoidants don't just wake up one day and decide they're done. They build a narrative over time, and that narrative becomes their reality, even though it may not necessarily be your reality or anybody else looking at the situation's reality either. Common stories avoidant women tell themselves include things like, you're never going to change, he'll never change, we're toxic, I'm better off alone, you only care about me because I'm leaving, you only care about me when I'm leaving. Put in the comments if she's thrown out any of these lines or these phrases at you. Once she builds a story, her brain starts filtering the reality to support that story. That's confirmation bias. You hear me talk about that in the majority of my videos. She only sees the things that confirm her narrative and ignores everything else that contradicts that. This is confirmation bias. And avoidants are masters at confirmation bias. If she's talking to some hoochie-ass friend from high school, a miserable, recently divorced old friend, or even her mother-in-law who hates you, those voices fuel her narrative. We call those enemies of the marriage. You can't argue her out of that narrative, but you absolutely can influence it. Logic is not going to break confirmation bias. Debate is going to make confirmation bias stronger. It's going to further confirm her bias. And one thing that never works, but it works to increase it, is putting pressure on her. Pressure definitely does not kill or reduce confirmation bias, but experience does start the process of dissolving confirmation bias if you're establishing new relationship histories of good experiences that ruined the narrative. And that's what steps number 2, 3, and 4 we're going to teach you in this video. So comment if you want a full video on how these narratives start, because that could be beneficial if you don't already know what started it in your situation.
And as a woman, I can tell you this. When a wife wants out, she's been quietly building a story in her head for a long time.
Long time.
Very long time. That she's just looking for evidence that you're not going to change.
Confirmation bias.
Yes. And if someone is in her ear feeding her negativity, the confirmation bias gets even worse, stronger, all the things. Tell me in the comments if this lines up with what you're dealing with and what you're seeing.
Yeah, and what she's talking about, if somebody's feeding that narrative, those are what we talk about in all of our videos. You need to watch those other videos where I talk about the enemies of the marriage, because you can do everything right.
Everybody has one or two.
Here's the thing. When a woman has confirmation bias, if you don't follow the entire 14-step process, the odds of this relationship being restored before something happens that dissolves it forever, it's more likely to dissolve, especially this time of year. Women right now that you're like, maybe you're doing an in-house or a physical separation, your wife is already making New Year's resolutions. She is probably, if she has confirmation bias, 100% of the possibility that she's probably talking to some guy online. I didn't say having an affair, but some old loser from high school that recently got divorced that sent her a message 3 months ago. She never responded. Guess what? Now she's responding. And you're in the danger zone of her having a limited affair. So, but let's get back on track here. How can you stop feeding her narrative with your behavior? You cannot, I repeat this, you cannot force. You cannot make an avoidant ex come back to you by chasing them. You can't do it by explaining.
It's unattractive.
And
Don't do
the
it.
number one problem that all men do that they face is over communicating. Every time you chase her, every time you explain, every time you beg, every time you ask for another talk, and guess what? A lot of you are going to try to make that happen around Thanksgiving, and I'm telling you, it's a trap you're setting yourself up for. Do not fucking do that. I even have a video on should I tell her happy anniversary? We'll put that in the comments, or we'll put it somewhere so you can find it. Well, Denver, why are you saying happy anniversary? Because the same...
Or happy birthday.
Happy anniversary or happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
For a lot of you, you're going to use Thanksgiving. You're expecting her to invite you. She'll invite you the last minute. It's going to be a trap. Don't fall for it. She'll lose more respect for you. And put in the comments if that's you, and I'll respond. We'll both respond to those comments.
Yeah.
Should I go over if I get invited over for Thanksgiving? The answer is probably hell no, you should not. Now, you should put in the comments about the Thanksgiving, and we'll tell you how to deal with that.
It's a person by person situation.
You got it. But most of the time, the answer is no.
Yeah.
Put that in the comments, and we might even do a video on that. But every time you ask for another talk, her brain is saying, see, this is why I'm leaving. He's putting pressure on me. So what you want to do is you want to stop providing new relationship histories of evidence that matches the narrative that she's telling herself about the marriage and about you or the relationship. Avoidants are hyper sensitive to pressure. Intensity.
Like shutdown mode.
Yeah, 100% shutdown.
It was me.
That 100% was her.
Yeah.
They're hyper sensitive to pressure, intensity. For most men, when the wife wants out, here's what always happens. He runs to Jesus and she runs away from Jesus. And then he gets super intense in trying to fix himself and fix the relationship. This is going to further confirm confirmation bias for an avoidant, emotional chaos.
Yeah.
An avoidant literally cannot. They will check out and they will start an emotional affair with a limerent affair partner.
Or even just crawl in the bed and get depressed.
Crawl in the bed and get depressed, or they will find enemies of the marriage
Lean
to
into
confirm the
a
bias.
friend.
Put in the comments if you're dealing with...
That's what I did.
Yeah, you did. You dealt with the enemy of the marriage. The enemy of the marriage, I'm good friends with her today, but the strongest enemy of the marriage when we were going through this was Amy. Remember that?
Yes.
I adore Amy. I think she's the sweetest gal on the planet.
She's my best friend, yeah.
But she was the biggest fucking enemy of our marriage. And
she didn't mean to be.
She did not mean to be. She was supporting her friend. But at that time, for that season of her life, she was in a bad relationship. Bad relationship. Remember that?
Yes.
And she was miserable in that relationship.
And she loved me, and she was just trying to support me.
And she was trying to support you. But the point we're making is misery loves misery. Yeah. So what happened was her support friend latched onto her and was enabling her to destroy all of our lives. And if I hadn't dealt with that enemy of the marriage and took her out of the picture the way that I did emotionally, we wouldn't have got back together. We wouldn't have got back restored. Anyway, emotional chaos, repetition of your old patterns. If you give any of that to her, your behavior is confirming the story that she's been running in her mind, confirmation bias. So instead, what do you do, Denver? You lower, take a deep breath yourself. You lower the pressure. You regulate your own emotions. So what do we call that when we talk about a man that needs to regulate his emotion? A 20-pound bottle of Valium that can't be phased. Yeah. And that changes...
And don't have baby fits is my saying too.
Well, she don't say baby fit. She says, when I'm acting like a bitch fit, when I'm having a bitch fit, I don't want you to have a bitch fit. But it goes further than that. Especially if you're separated, because what you got to do is lower the pressure. See, what happens is if this is what you're dealing with, here's what's happened so far.
Be her safe place.
You have been the pressure cooker.
Yep.
You have been the one that put the pressure on her. So when you put pressure on somebody to the point that they snap and they want out of the relationship, what happens? The pressure has to go somewhere. I'm from the South, and my mama used to can green beans that I would go out in the garden and pick.
Yep.
And she put those green beans in a pressure cooker. Well, what would always happen when that pressure cooker built up enough fucking pressure? It would have to find the pressure relief valve. So what happens is I put enough pressure on her when our relationship failed. And what does pressure do? When it builds up to a certain point, it finds a pressure relief valve. Well, Denver, what's a pressure relief valve? An emotional affair partner, a physical affair partner, a sexual affair partner, or a hoochie-ass miserable friend that's an enemy of the marriage. And what happens is you go over there to that enemy, Amy. What did you do when you went to Amy? You let off pressure, right?
Yeah.
And who was putting the pressure on where you needed to go to that enemy of the marriage to let off steam?
You.
Me. I absolutely was doing that. Put in the comments if you can relate to this. If you're like, holy shit, Denver, I didn't realize I literally have pushed her away. I put so much pressure. Well, Denver, can my marriage be restored? My wife's having a sexual affair. She has a boyfriend or whatever. All that asshole is the pressure relief valve.
It's just something to take it's a distraction.
But guess what? You can reverse those roles. I love 71% of my students find out about an affair partner and 100% find out about an enemy of the marriage. Well, why am I telling you this? This is the ones that find out. If 71% of my students find out about an affair partner as they're going through the 14 steps of reconciliation, how many of my students do you think are actually having an affair partner? Well, different. What is an affair partner? It could be emotional. It could be physical, like where they're going on dates, or it could even be sexual. That doesn't mean your marriage can be restored, and it doesn't mean that you're a cuck if you want the marriage restored. If you don't fix this with this one and reverse those roles and attract this one back.
By pulling back.
Guess what statistically is going to happen? You're going to repeat this with the next one.
Yeah.
So if your friends and family saying, she's doing that, let her go, it's because they've never seen somebody in your shoes actually successfully restore it and thrive in the relationship. So don't listen to people that have never been in your shoes and accomplished the goal that you want to accomplish of restoring your relationship.
Yeah.
Marriage counselors and your preacher will probably even tell you, well, let it go. Because they've never seen it restored because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. This is what I mean when I say God does not always call the qualified. Right. God qualifies the called.
And they're not bad people, but they don't know what they don't know.
No, I had somebody.
They haven't lived it. They haven't walked through it. We have. So this is where we come in.
100%.
Yeah.
So what kind of program are you in? Who are you listening to? Have they ever been in your shoes and successfully navigated the waters to take their boat where you want to take yours? And if they haven't, stop fucking listening to them. Even if they have the best intentions, they're going to give you foolish advice.
They're not bad people.
Because they don't know what they're talking about.
No.
So regulate your emotions and change the experiences that she's having. Avoidants don't respond to words. Avoidants respond to emotional safety. Take a deep breath. Look in the mirror. Smile. Let her hear your smile. Short, kind, calm, connected, grounded interactions starve her confirmation bias. That establishes new relationship histories that ruin the psychological story that's become biological.
It ruins her story, and then she starts to realize, this is different.
Now, it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing? You've been defending yourself. So what do you need to now start doing? No defensiveness, no debate, agree with her negative feelings, put a good name on the negative feelings. Well, Denver, how do I put a good name on the negative feelings? By explaining why you agree with the negative feelings. All these big emotional blow-ups that you guys have been having.
It's exhausting.
It is. You know the number one reason people get married? Or do you know the number one reason people get divorced? One word, exhaustion. They're just fucking tired. They're just out of gas. You can stop giving gasoline to those big emotional moments. If any of this is relating to you, if you're like, wow, he's inside my head, put the word me in the comments if you're starting to see how your reactions has fed her narrative. It's catered to the confirmation bias.
When a woman has pulled away, emotional pursuit feels like pressure. So even if your intentions are good and it feels like you're trying to pull her into something she doesn't feel safe in yet, lowering the pressure, it isn't pulling away. It's just creating space for her nervous system to calm down a bit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So what do you do instead? You make her feel heard, valued, and seen. The HVS method. I'm the only one on YouTube that talks about this because I came up with it. Avoidants don't come back because you convince them. They come back because they feel safe. Nothing creates safety faster than feeling heard, valued, and seen. Now listen to me. One of the things that I know about every single person watching this video, if your wife is checked out, your long-term relationship lover is checked out, she doesn't want anything else to do with the relationship, I know this. If you're watching this video, you're a good person. You're not a narcissist. Put in the comment if she told you you're a narcissist and you've even Googled and you're like, holy shit, maybe I am a narcissist. If you're watching the video, I'm confirming for you that a narcissist would never watch my videos. So what do I mean by that? you can actually start the process of making her feel safe. But nothing creates emotional safety faster than her feeling heard, valued, and seen. Now, here's the thing. Your relationship will not be restored if you land this plane perfectly.
Yeah.
It's more to that. Put in the comments if you know with every fiber of your being that if your wife could see you, she could see your heart, you know that your marriage would 100% be restored. And different, that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to get her to see. I've made all these changes. I've lost 40 pounds. I would give my life for her. I don't care about the money, but it's making it worse. I'm in another program. 51% of my students come from one program in particular, and I think last time we checked, about 70% of our students come from other programs. They're in these programs where it's making them feel better. They're getting their life together. Their biceps are getting bigger. They're, increased by 2 inches, and you feel like $1 million, but she's resenting your changes. That's why you've got to do all 14 steps if you're dealing with an avoidant and or, which are often coupled together, an avoidant with confirmation bias,
right,
because the two typically go hand in hand. Now, you could only be dealing with confirmation bias and your wife's not an avoidant, which we can make a little bit faster progress if that's your situation.
Yes.
But nothing creates safety faster than feeling heard, valued, and seen. So how do you make somebody feel heard, valued, and seen? You stop arguing with them. You stop debating. Stop trying to get them to see the errors of their ways. Stop posting Bible scriptures on your Facebook account. Stop explaining.
Don't act like a victim.
Yeah.
Especially like to her or in the public.
Well, while I'm on the Bible thing on Facebook, for that matter, don't be putting, real relationships, if you ever love me, any of that bullshit that you're posting on social media. You think she's going to read it and you think it's going to get her to see the errors.
It pisses her off and it makes her run further.
Yeah, it's the opposite of being the 20-pound bottle of Valium that can't be phased. Yeah. What it's telling the whole world is this mofo is not emotionally stable. So you got to stop doing all that. So listen to me. Nothing creates safety for her faster than feeling heard, valued, and seen. So how do you do that? By establishing new relationship histories. Heard, valued, and seen. So how do you do that? You establish new relationship histories by you being that 20-pound bottle of Valium that can't be phased. Well, Denver, how do I do that? Stop debating. Stop explaining yourself. Not trying to fix everything in one conversation. Just listening and listening deeply. The Bible says, be slow to speak, but quick to listen. Realize that God gave you one of these and two of these for a reason. So the second thing you can do is reflection and validation are the tools that soften an avoidant. So how do you do that? Denver, what are you talking about, reflection and validation? Say things like this. I can see why you would feel that way. Or if she sends you a text message, don't just be like, oh my God, she sent me a text and respond right away. Read the text message. Put yourself in Dorothy's ruby red slippers. Denver, what the hell are you talking about? Dorothy's ruby red slippers. Here's what I mean. Read her text message, okay? And then go and before you respond, I want you to pretend you're the one that sent the message. What's the environment? What's the temperature? How is she feeling? Look at the words. If she's saying, I this, don't just respond. You hear me talk about in my videos all the time. Positive, polite, and playful. Positive, polite, and playful. While you need those things, I'm happy. All of that works, but it's going to get you in the friend zone if you don't make her feel heard, valued, and seen. You emotionally penetrate her so that she says, wow, for the first time ever, he's actually reading my text and responding in a way that makes me feel seen. When you start making her feel seen, she will start seeing you. Remember what we said earlier? If she could see your heart, you wouldn't need this video. You wouldn't need me. You wouldn't need the Divorce Stoppers program.
Right. For
a lot of you, that's never going to happen, though, without the program. Yeah. And I'll tell you how to do that in a little bit. But we have a free resource that we're going to give you today in the video, and I'm going to pitch that at the end of the video, so stay tuned. So what makes sense given that you've been going through all of this stuff? I haven't listened to you like this before. Okay, you could actually say that phrase. I haven't ever listened to you like this before. If you start communicating in a way that makes her feel heard, valued, and seen, you're putting yourself in those ruby red slippers so she actually thinks like, wow, he's listening to me like this before. And she's like, what's going on? Why are you acting different? Just say, I haven't ever listened to you like this before. I now see that. I was blind, but now I see. These are all leadership statements. They're not weakness. When a woman feels heard, valued, and seen, her nervous system, it takes a deep breath. it calms down and her brain opens up to new information. This is her first check in the negative narrative. This is the first step towards attraction returning.
Right.
Creating curiosity in yourself by doing something different is going to cause confirmation bias to start dissolving, because somebody can't be curious about a thought over here while running the neural pathways confirming the bias. The brain literally cannot think two thoughts at the same thing.
Because you have to remember
at the same time.
what you were doing before, it wasn't working. That's why you're here.
Yeah, you're on a freaking hamster wheel.
Yeah.
So if what you've been doing isn't working, and then you join some program, some idiot's telling you all this stuff to make your dick bigger, but she's resenting that bigger dick, guess what? It's making you feel good about yourself, but you joined it to restore the marriage, right? If that program's not working for you, you better join something that's actually designed. Find somebody that's been through exactly what you're going through. But that's not enough. There's a lot of people that's been through what you're going through. Find somebody that not only has been in your shoes to help you, but has also taken the boat where they're back together. She was 2,002 miles away and had filed a divorce, and we were in 6-month separation. She wanted nothing to do with the marriage anymore after I said I wanted a divorce. I didn't really want the divorce. I thought if I used that word stupidly, she would say, oh, baby, let's work on the marriage. We're soulmates. Let's get back. And you know what? For a while, she said that, but I kept throwing it out, trying to change her because I was unhappy in the relationship, and she left. And then she filed for a divorce, and then she's like, okay, fuck it, I'm done. Put in the comments if that's where you're at, because that's exactly where I was at. And the stuff I'm teaching you in today's video will help you turn that train around.
Women don't need a perfect man. We need presence. We need to know that you're actually hearing us without defending yourself or trying to win. Women also need to feel understood, and we just need...
Heard, valued, and seen?
Yeah.
Now, on the other side of that perfect man thing, if you want to become one, stay tuned to my video. I'll teach you how to become the perfect man. But what do women really want you to do? How do we dissolve the confirmation bias? How do we collapse her confirmation bias and change the story? Her confirmation bias can be reversed. I can tell you this, most all of my students, the wife's confirmation bias has been present so long, psychologically, that it's become biological, meaning we can literally see it on a brain scan. But her confirmation bias can be reversed, but only through new relationship histories. Only once she feels heard, valued, and seen. And what does all that do? It creates emotional safety. Your job is to give her those new relationship histories, those new experiences that contradict the old story.
Without being pushy.
You 100%. Yes. You ruin the narrative.
Her,
by,
not.
You got it. You lower the pressure.
Yeah.
So, an example. So here's some examples. If she said things in the past like, he never listens to me, or she's told you, you never listen to me, you take a deep breath and you go into the next conversation with the intent to just listen calmly. Well, Denver, she's busting my chops. Am I supposed to just take it? Listen calmly. If she said things to her, so what is she telling the Emmys of the marriage? He always explodes. How do you reverse that? You always stay grounded.
Don't explode.
100%. He only cares about me when I'm leaving. You stay consistent without being clingy. Each time your behavior doesn't match her narrative, her brain is going to hit friction. And when her brain hits friction, the story weakens and softens the confirmation bias. Weak bias weakens the avoidance. Does this make sense? This is a process that makes avoidant exes come back. Eventually, her brain cannot keep believing a narrative that no longer matches the reality. You can look this up in psychology books. Have a conversation with this on ChatGPT about confirmation bias and how it relates to an avoidant. An avoidant can't stay an avoidant forever if you ruin the narrative. If the narrative no longer matches the reality, eventually, with given time, her attachment will soften. Her attachment softens, her biology will calm, and her stories will update. Reconnection is going to become possible. Put in the comments if you want to break down on how to rewrite the entire narrative.
Avoidant women don't come back because of one big talk. That's not even going to happen. Mm-hmm. They come back because their body says, this feels different. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're changed. Things are just starting to shift a little bit. And when you break her confirmation bias through consistency, that's key, and safety, then you give her a reason to believe in you again.
Yeah, it's how she feels. And however a woman feels is her truth. Put in the comments if you're meeting your wife to exchange the kids and she's sitting there with the car window rolled up, acting like she's scared of you. Why is that? Because for a woman, if she's emotionally afraid of you, if she doesn't feel emotionally safe with you, for a woman, they process emotional and physical safety in the exact same region of the brain.
100%.
I talk about that in a lot of my videos. So before I give you the most important next step, tell me in the comments which one of these 4 steps has hit you the hardest. Your answers will dictate the very next video that Brandy and I make. So put in the comments, what do you want to hear in our next video, and we will make the video on that. So listen to me. If you're listening to this video and you're thinking, Denver, I'm going through some or all of these exact things, we have a free resource that can actually help you take the first step of turning this all around today. If any of this has landed with you, first of all, put in the comment which one has landed with you. But what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video right now and go to this website or scan the QR code that my video editor is putting on the screen right now. In this free Marriage U-Turn Masterclass, I'm going to teach you the first steps that you can take to dissolve the confirmation bias and to learn how to become the 20-pound bottle of volume that can't be phased, so that you can start reestablishing a system of communication where she feels heard, valued, and seen in a way that will start rebuilding intimacy in the friendship and then get you out of the friend zone quickly, that will lead you to create an opportunity for sexual passion. Put in the comments if you're in the friend zone. That is one of the most dangerous places that you can be. But right now, what I want you to do is go to denvergriffin.com and reserve one of the free seats for the free Marriage U-Turn Masterclass that I'm going to be teaching 9 times this week live. In that free Marriage U-Turn Masterclass, I'll respond to the comments, and it's kind of like a live coaching session, even though I'm going to be showing you how to establish new relationship histories to turn this train around. If you let this go past Thanksgiving and we start inching into Christmas and into January, it is the fucking danger zone, and you need to put time on your side before it's too late. Well, Denver, I've already got a legal divorce. If she's not remarried, you're still in the danger zone, but it's not too late. 32% of my students that we turned the train around remarried their ex-wives. 32% of my students are divorced when they come in. Register for the free Marriage U-Turn Masterclass. Listen to me. If you have been watching YouTube videos to the point that you're addicted to them, trying to figure out something else you can do in the relationship, if she has confirmation bias, my first long-term marriage ended of 20-something years and hers was 19, and they both ended for one fucking reason, because we were both in unwanted divorces. And why? Because we literally just ran out of time. It's the only reason. We literally ran out of time. Put time on your side by doing something different. Register for the free Marriage U-Turn Masterclass, and once you go through that free Marriage U-Turn Masterclass, if you feel like you need more help, you can book a free strategy session call with us, and we can listen to you at no charge on your exact scenario. Well, Denver, what if it's too far gone? What if she told me she's done? Denver, you don't know my wife. When she's done, she's done.
I was done.
She was done.
I was so done.
I don't know your specific scenario, but if you need it, after you register for the free Marriage U-Turn Masterclass, I will have my team literally send you a text message where you can also, at the same time, book a free strategy session call with us. We'll listen to your situation to tell you what the likelihood of, in our opinion, to see if we believe that we can help you completely turn it around before she ends up pregnant or with another man as his wife. And I don't even care if she's already engaged to somebody else. If they're not getting married next month, register for the free Marriage U-Turn Masterclass at denvergriffin.com or scan the QR code, and we'll send you a text message where you can book a call with us at no charge if it's something that you feel like you need. The free Marriage U-Turn strategy session, it's not a pitch, it's simply a real conversation where we look at your wife's narrative, her attachment style, the confirmation bias that's running against you, and the exact steps that you need to take to interrupt that process before it becomes permanent. If she's talking to a toxic friend, if her mom hates you, if the kids have turned against you, if she's saying it's too little too late, if the attorneys are stirring shit up, or you've separated more than once and you're redoing this on a hamster wheel, This call is made for you. Register for the free Marriage U-Turn Masterclass and also book that call. The link is on the screen and also the QR code. Scan that and get started. Also, if you've been doing no contact because you've been listening to some idiot on YouTube telling you that works, and it does work if you're a freshman in college, but outside of that, if you're not a freshman in college and had your girlfriend for 3 months, no contact never works, and I'm giving you a video on how to stop doing that. If she's guarded, cold, or completely shut down, that video will open your eyes onto what's really going on into her heart.